I do that all the time. I do that all the time. I got to figure out a better strategy. I apologize for that. I'm not on mute anymore. So, hello there, Daruv. Thanks for joining. Apologies for just now getting unmuted. But happy Thursday. Hope everyone's having a great week to their great start to their week, or great end of their week, whichever it is, depending on when you start your week. We've got a great show lined up for you today. We've got a new feature for version 2020.1, the Workbook Optimizer. Really great potential. It's a new feature. It's MVP right now, but they're going to add to it, I believe. And I think this is going to be really good. So our focus for this week is to, we've got a workbook here that Lorna's created, and it's very simple. She said, get the workbook to meet all of the workbook optimizations. So that's what we're going to do. So let's go here. Let's go download this workbook, and we're going to download it from her public Tableau public profile. So I've got to sign in here. This one. There we go. Okay, so I've logged in, and I'm going to download the workbook. Hello there, Tim. How's everybody doing? Thanks for joining today. We've got when you download here, it asks you what version. We'll just take the current version. And then we will open this up in our recent version. Make sure we're doing that. So 2020.1. So basically, while this is loading up, we'll take a look at what this does. So Tableau has, they have some white papers, or they have a white paper on performant workbooks. And essentially, let's see if I can find it. Tableau white paper, designing efficient workbooks. There it is, the first one that pops up. So this white paper has a lot of really good stuff in it. And basically, this new feature, the Workbook Optimizer, is basically this white paper in a product feature, right? In a UI. So that's essentially what they're going for here. So I'll drop this in. I'll drop this in the comment here, and you guys can take a look at that if you're interested. So that's essentially what we're going for. So we've got this lining up here. We've got this opening up here, but basically what we're doing is it's checking for making sure that, are you using every data source that you're connected to? Are you well, let's just run through it. So the way to get to the optimizer is in the server function here, run optimizer. Just like that. Okay. So 8 have passed. So let's take a look at the ones that have already passed. 1, number of views in a dashboard, right? So what are we doing here? Well, it just says to make sure that you don't have too many views in your dashboard. Are you going to be able to satisfy this every single time? No. There are going to be dashboards that you build that are going to have a lot of views in them, and that's okay. Again, this is not a hard and fast. This is not a thou shalt. These are just best practices, suggestions. That's really all this is, right? Calculations used in multiple data sources. So again, if you're doing some blended calculations, that can be sometimes a performance hindrance, which is really nice. Again, I think all of these things are really great to keep an idea of how to run the most efficient workbooks possible. So let's see here. Let's take a look at the ones that needs review. Needs review. Number of data sources. This workbook contains 4 data sources. All right. let's take a look at the take action. Unused data sources. So we've got, we have multiple data sources that are not being used. Unused fields. We have lots of calculated fields and actual database fields that are not being used. If we hide those, Tableau does not have to materialize those in the SQL or in the initializing SQL or any of those types of things. So we'll go through and we'll we'll hide those, and then non-materialized calculations. What is a non-material? What is a materialized calculation? Well, you can see that we have the data source is not pre-computed, right? Computing the result of a calculation can impact performance. Consider pushing calculations to the data source whenever possible. If using an extract, materialize to pre-compute their results. What does this mean? Well, if you have the ability to, any row level calculations that you're doing should be published up to the data source. What does that mean? Meaning, really, if you're doing any kind of string manipulation on any of your fields or those types of things, those are going to be happening at a row by row level, and those can be pushed up to your data source. Meaning, if you have the ability to, or you have the access to, or you know who to request these changes, just have them go add these string manipulations in the actual SQL or view or whatever in your actual database. Or if you're connecting to a local file, just go into your local file and create those calculations in your local file. That's what we mean by non-materialized. And then it also says here, if you're using an extract, materialize your calculations to pre-compute their results. And we'll talk about what that means. So let's go take care of some stuff. All right, so the first thing we need to do is we need to, what we're going to do here, let's go into a worksheet, and we can see we're using this. And what I like to try and do is just close. If I just try and close this data source, it's going to tell me, oh, nope, you can't do that. Cancel that. All right, we'll cancel that. So we're not going to do that. Let's see, can we close this one? Yes, we can close that one. All right, what else? Can we close this one? Yes, we can close even that one, right? So if you don't get any errors, that means that Tableau doesn't find anything that you can get rid of. So here, another thing, here are all these different fields, right? So let's go through here. Let's go here, and let's try hide all unused fields, and you can see a bunch of them go away, right? Then in here we can go to, this is a clipboard, it's an extract. We'll right click, we'll go down to extract, and sometimes you'll see this compute calculations now. That means we're going to compute them in the extract, as opposed to writing the, what happens is, let's talk about how this happens. So let's say you are working in a workbook, you connect to your data source, and the very first thing that you do is you create an extract. The very first thing. And then you go to your first sheet for that data source, and you start building your views, your dashboards on that extracted database, or on that extract, on that hyperfile. And in some of those, you're going to create calculated fields, right? And by doing that, what you're doing is you're doing them outside, you're creating those calculated fields outside of the extract process. So then Tableau has to execute those every single time you do something on a view that uses that data source or that calculated field. By clicking this option of compute calculations now, what we're going to do is we're going to add those into the extract process. And you can see it doesn't take very long, depending on the level of complexity that you're dealing with. All right, so we'll do that. And now let's see So we've got all that done. Let's see what else. Let's see how we're doing now. So, and at any time, you don't have to be on a dashboard. In a worksheet, at any time, you can go up to Server, Run Optimizer. Oh, we hid unused fields in our sample data source. I don't think I did a hide, so we'll do this. Hide all unused fields. Yep, there was one. That's all right. So one's better than none. So now let's run it again. Nope. Okay, so we still have another take action. So let's take a look at it. What is it? Unused fields. The data source parameters contain 2 fields not being used. Oh, so that's a good one. So parameters, right? If you're not using parameters, Tableau still has to materialize those. They still have to create those. This is a really good one because especially when we use the, if you're on Tableau desktop and you use the Tableau Superstore data source, Tableau automatically within that Tableau data source will create, has those parameters already in them. So what we need to do here is we just need to go here and delete. And it'll say, yes, I know you're affecting that. Let's see, delete. Nope, we need that. We do not want to continue there. Top customers, delete. Top customers by profit, yes, because we're not using that. Let's see, delete. Oh wait, I think it said it had 2 parameters, right? If I remember correctly. So let's now go look again. Run Optimizer. Bingo. There we go. So, for the sake of this challenge, we have satisfied the requirements, and we can go. But very good things to keep an eye on in here. Remove all of your remove all of your data sources that are not being used. Don't use too many. That's what this is, the number of data sources. Because every data source that you use has to be extracted or materialized in some way. Number of views on a dashboard, keep an eye on that. Obviously, we're not going to be able to satisfy that one all the time, especially as you get more and more advanced in your Tableau development and clients begin asking for more complex dashboard solutions. You're going to end up creating dashboards with lots of views. So that's just something to keep an eye on. Calculations using multiple data sources. We didn't have it in there. But again, if you're doing any blended calculations, keep an eye on that. Unused fields, that's a really quick one. You just come in here. And the great thing about this Run Optimizer that I didn't share is that you can keep this screen open and it does not keep the focus on this modal box. So you can go in here and you can come in here and you can show, you can do all of these changes that you want to, and then you can just check this Rerun Optimizer and it will automatically do that, which is really nice, right? So you can go in here, you can close data sources, hide fields, all that kind of stuff, and then just rerun, all while keeping this open, and it will tell you how you do. So that was a really quick one. There's not much to this, but again, it's a really great feature. It's going to help a lot of people out. Obviously, the more that the longer that you've used Tableau, the more that these things just become second nature, and you're already kind of doing these things, hopefully, on your own. But by getting into this practice now of running the optimizer and knowing, oh yeah, I need to go remove my unused data sources. I need to remove my unused parameters. I need to show or hide all of my unused fields. I need to do all these kinds of things. You're going to get in the habit of making more performant dashboards, which is great. Or more performant workbooks, which is awesome. So I'm really excited about this feature. It's got a lot of potential, and I know that the Tableau devs are working hard on this, and it's only going to grow from here. So, that's another thing. We tend to really enjoy level of detail calculations, but they are a performance hog, especially the more detailed you get. So just keep an eye on the number of the level of detail calculations and the complexity of them. So another thing, number of filters. Remember, every single filter is a separate query to the database. So when the dashboard loads, if you have a stakeholder who wants a dashboard that is, basically a data buffet, right? As I like to call them, data buffet dashboards, where it's just here is the data and here are 15 filters. Go find your own insights. They're going to need 15 filters. Well, so you've got your main worksheet, right? And that has a level of complexity to it. But each individual filter is an individual query that runs back to your database. And depending on the cardinality of those filters, if you have a filter for an ID field, that is going to be a slog on performance, because Tableau has to go collect all, has to do basically a select star from your database and then bring it all back. And if we're dealing with Superstore, which is only 10,000 rows. But if you're doing this on a production database, you might have tens of millions of records. So trying to bring back an order ID for tens of millions of records is going to really bog down your dashboard. So keep an eye on that. There are some workarounds for that. And that will be good. So I don't know. Hopefully that was good information. Really simple stuff, but it's gonna greatly impact for the better your workbooks in the future. So nice, quick, and easy today, which is good. So thanks to Lorna for the challenge, and thank you to Tableau for this awesome feature. We will, let's see, make sure I get back to what we want to do here. There we go. All right, so thank you so much. We'll get together next week, and we'll have another one of these. So thanks so much. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Go forth and viz.